Welcome back to another episode of the Guile treatment, where no matter what you want, you'll get what we give you.
Damn straight.
Joining us today, we have third place in 2018 Player of the Year, Tim Friedlieb, out of Vegas.
Hey guys.
Hey Tim.
What's on the menu today, Chris?
Today we are talking about Bebop spoilers or previews, because spoilers is such a I hate that word. So we're gonna go Bebop previews, guys. We're gonna go Bebop previews. We'll go through each one, starting with like Ed and Ein from the beginning, and then we'll work all the way to, as of today's recording, the last two defensive foundations that they showed us. So first up is we have Ed and Ein. 626, all order void. They get to search for the other three copies before the start of the game and attach themselves. They have an enhance. Your turn, add one attached character from your staging area to your hand. Your opponent discards one card. If the discarded card was a non-attack card, draw a card, or commit an opponent's foundation. Pretty good, I think. Rob, your thoughts on Ed and Ein?
I hate this character. Not because it's bad. I mean, it's a good character. I just don't. I don't know. I don't like anything about it. As a strategy, I dislike discard.
Yeah.
I mean, to this point, I don't think we've seen it. I mean, maybe there's some stuff in the set that sort of hates on it.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't. I mean, I know they've printed a lot in recent sets. Street Fighter especially, there was a lot of anti-discard for what didn't seem to be a ton of discard at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think in general it's kind of a rough strategy. It can really take your opponent out of the game when it's a lot of attacking, blocking, while you don't have any cards in hand. I mean, we just saw a deck win Nationals that was doing that.
Yep.
That was that was just ripping out your opponent's hand and then just shipping attacks directly that they couldn't do anything about.
Yeah.
And that deck at least had to set up.
Mm-hmm.
This deck has that potential to take three cards out of your hand from the first turn of the game.
Yeah. Tim, do you have do you have any more? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing about it, though, is that the cost or lack of cost of that ability is to add a character card to your hand.
Yeah.
Which, to me, is basically just, the worst thing about Ever Hopeful. It's sort of like, didn't we just have a problem with a card like this that, as a cost, added itself to your hand?
Yeah.
Which, that's not a cost at all. I mean, you picked up +0 mid-block, an extra card in your hand for discarding, for blocking, for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that, the idea was, we didn't reduce the difficulty on the stacker, so it's still a 6 diff. So if you want to keep doing this, you have to play it again on a high difficulty. But I don't think that's enough of a detriment. I really would have liked to have seen the cost to be either remove or put in your discard pile or something other than just adding it back to your hand. I think that's basically a benefit on top of an already strong effect.
To segue that, me and Tim were talking earlier about how free some character abilities are. Tim, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I've just noticed you can see the design philosophy shift here and there with, like, looking back to things like some of the King of Fighters characters, not all of them, but say, like, look at Clark. Clark, for his response, not only did he have to take damage, but he also did check a 4+. Whereas something like Stoneman is just when something gets a bonus, right? So he gets respond. Looking at Ed and Ein, your cost is actually a cool, awesome benefit. Same thing with Woodman. While I love that character, the cost of his ability is an uninteractable, for the most part, card added to hand.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I am actually kind of with you on this one, Rob. I think that the idea of the ability is cool because you don't want to waste all 3 of your enhances in one turn if you're not going to kill them. And you do have to play 3 attacks in order to rip 3 cards. But you're ripping 3 whole cards, possibly, in one turn. And you're getting a +0 mid-block, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have other characters, I guess, right now that do discard as well. I mean, they just did, Huitzel, who I think does that.
Yep.
Napalm Man kind of does, but it's optional. It's kind of like CA, where it's like he burns you, or you can discard a card. But I think, what is that, if you don't block? So really, it's
something like that, yeah.
If you're not going to block, you just pitch the card, or you do neither. I mean, Akuma as well, but look at Akuma. Look what Akuma had to do to discard a card from your hand, and then look at Ed and Ein.
Yeah.
So
my only thing about
I think that'll be the theme of a lot of the characters in Cowboy Bebop is look at this card that recently came out.
My only thought with Ed and Ein is that their symbol spread, other than Void, I would say, Void's still really good. All in Order are kind of still lacking a bit, I guess, if you want to say. But they are gaining a lot. We'll see as we go through their cards. So,
I mean, you can say it. All in Order are bad.
Yes, they are. They're bad. They're bad.
Well, right now.
Yes.
I mean, like you said, Ed and Ein have some good tools for them, which they desperately need.
Yep, which we'll go in.
They're not very good.
So the next card we'll go into is then Leaping Neck Chomp. It's a attack, 4 difficulty, 3 check, +2 high block, 4 high for 4. Combo ally. Add 1 card for the printed control of 6 from your discard pile to your hand. And then combo E, discard 1 card. This attack gets a damage bonus equal to the printed control of the discarded card. So with this card, you could basically use your Ed and Ein. You pitch a card from their hand. You combo E to discard the Ed and Ein, and then you get that card back. Or a Hanya. Or anything with a printed 6 control. So 4 high for 10, guys. Pretty good on a 5 difficulty attack. You know, a little good. Any thoughts on that, Tim?
I mean, I think you've already said it. Is that so many hoops to jump through to get +6 damage.
Yeah,
it's.
I just got a message from Church saying that FAM said that MK will be legal for Worlds.
Oh, wow.
So, okay then. So, breaking news. Breaking news on the Guile treatment, everybody. So
we've heard that a lot. So.
Yeah, I know. So,
I take that with literally... Go to Vegas. Bet all your money on that.
Yeah.
We know how it turns out.
I've already said that if someone wants to take me up on the bet, that I said Neomax will probably be legal for Worlds for $20, and no one has taken me up on that because I think people don't have faith that it's going to come out.
Well, I'm about to lose $20 to Kevin Broberg, right alongside Piglet, because we both bet him that Bebop would be late and not make January release.
So
it can still happen.
Yeah,
it can.
Oh, it's
unlikely.
I don't think it's going to happen.
You need another snowstorm is what you need.
Yeah, we need another snowstorm, so from moving on to that, the next card go ahead.
I mean, for this card, I think it's in the same vein as some of the other stuff we said. Honestly, this card's fine. This card's good. Except for, I guess, again, that +6 damage. Like, that's... I think it's just too easy, if that makes sense.
It is a combo, though, like so...
it's true. But I guess, like, you're never going to not have a 6 check in Ed and Ein.
That's true.
Like, for this, I guess, like, the things that I look at it compared to, right, because you assume it's going to be 10 damage. You can look at, like, a Rain Flush, when that, like, creates a multiple, and then, it's 5 damage. You also have, Lightning Judgment, which discards the top card of your deck, and that can set itself up, too, where both of you stack 2, but, like, being at deadlock and stacking a card out of your discard pile is a lot harder to achieve than just Well, I mean, you can add the card that you discard from the
And
other.
and that card has no block. Lightning Judgment has no block.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's
this
a
card is
2-check.
good. I don't think that this card is like too good necessarily. I just think that
It is a rare. It is a rare. So yeah, it's a rare.
Okay.
So
Okay.
so
I'll be honest. I have not looked at the rarities of.
Oh, I know.
any of these
It's fine.
cards.
well, if you look at it
I
though,
do think the more common play you're going to see with this, in all likelihood, is going to be you play your ally attack, then you play Leaping Neck Chomp,
Mhm.
and then you Ed and Ein your character to your hand, and then you pitch it for the damage, and then you get it right back and play it.
yeah.
I mean, if you're
Potentially,
playing a character on an 8, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, that seems like a terrible idea. It's not fast. It's blockable, but
No.
you have to have a hand to block it. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. Honestly, I didn't realize it was a rare. The
Yeah.
fact that it's a rare, I feel fine about it.
Yeah, it's a rare. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Never mind. I rescind all my things. This card is great.
It kind of reminds me of Smite in a way, because like you
Oh,
just
dude, Smite is unreasonably good.
Another question I think that this card raises, at least the first card that I can think of that brings up this question so far, is why the need for printed control? Is there a card that changes controls
I don't know.
that's going to come out? Because as of yet in the game, there's nothing that changes the control of a card.
There's only
just
been things that have
modify the
done
check.
difficulty. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nothing changes the printed control. So
True.
it raises the question, are they just crossing their T's and dotting their I's? Or is there something that's going to affect controls of cards?
Maybe. So we'll move on to I guess in the next card we'll look at is Here We Go. It's an action 3/5 0 low block breaker 2. E remove. Attach one character card from your discard pile that you could normally attach. There's that normally could play could attach little thing there.
I got a question about
yeah.
that. Is that even necessary?
I think it's gonna have. I don't know. Currently, no, I don't think
Well,
so.
like, isn't it like if you have a character in your staging area that doesn't match names with your
It gets discarded.
starting character,
Yeah.
it's like a pause condition that discards it? I think it is.
I
but-
think so, but I don't know why that's there. So, and then
I
it
think
says
that's there so you can't play Garrett Brett and then attach a Garrett Brett
Brett.
with no symbols being shared.
I think that may be the point because Gemini Beam can do that, but this can't because I think it needs to share a
Well,
symbol.
what does that mean? Well, I guess what is the requirement? Does it have to share a symbol?
What?
Doesn't it just have to share a name?
No, it has to actually. I think if they, I guess with the whole Athena deal, it's gonna have to share a symbol with your
that
character.
Had no impact on how this card was.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever. So it
But
adds a
it
character
don't have
from
to share a symbol, so you can't attach Garrett Brett 2 to Garrett Brett 3.
basically. And then E remove, add one character card from your discard pile to your hand. So there's cost on this though, at least. So now you have to remove it. So.
You have left Breaker 2 plus 0 low block.
For
That's
Void.
what's important about this.
I know
This
that.
is-
Yeah.
What was the card that made Onmeal?
Oh, Animate
Animate
Fusion.
Fusion.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
this card is.
Yeah.
It doesn't have Infinity, but that's what this card is. And I don't even think you need this for Ed 9.
I don't think so either.
Like, it seems everything else we've seen seems to get them characters back. This is a great card for like Mega Man, sort of contributing to those stackers. Do we have a lot of other stuff right now? I mean, Mad Perot doesn't share any of these symbols. Looking ahead a little bit.
No.
So, I mean, this is something that you might run in like an Ed 9 deck, but I expect to see a ton more
In Mega Man?
as a plus 0 Breaker 2 block, and more in like Mega Man, because if you're running the stacker build of that, you need a way to
get them.
find your characters easily. Yeah.
Any thoughts, Tim?
Plus 0 low, Breaker 2.
Okay, fair enough. We'll move on to the next attack, so I'm doing this as in the days they came out. So it's Leg Crunch. It's a 5 difficulty 3 check plus 1 low block, 4 low for 4. Ally, powerful 3. E, discard 1 card. This attack gets a speed bonus equal to the printed difficulty of the discarded card. So if you discard an Ed and Ein, you're looking at a 10 low for 4 damage. Pretty good. 10 low for 4, powerful 3.
Yeah. That's a finisher.
Yeah. In a common, by the way. In a common.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like stacking speed on stuff isn't quite as egregious. It's just stacking damage on.
Yeah.
There's a lot more speed resets than there are damage resets. It's a low zone. Like, that's not bad. This reminds me a little bit of Panzerbrecher.
Yeah.
Just came out. That was a 4 low or 3 low for 4.
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly.
I think it's a 3 low.
It also had
3 low for 4.
It also had the powerful 3. Yeah, I mean, this is a great card if you get a little bit if you build up a little bit of momentum and you can just sort of throw it out there, especially if your opponent doesn't have like a Dust in the Wind or
a hand.
Balance Fight, whatever. I mean, if they don't have a hand, you don't care about the speed.
Yeah, exactly.
You can throw any powerful attack.
Yeah.
No, I mean, this is a decent card. It's a good opener, and I mean, it's a fine poke too. You know, I mean, if you just want to throw something out there and you just want to get a little bit of damage in, I mean, you could throw another attack away and just get like 4 or 5 speed on it and feel fine about it. If you just really want to get 4 damage in, do a little bit of get a little bit of momentum, and then build. I mean, shoot, Ed and Ein, you know, you could pick up that and then build that back down on a 7.
Yeah,
you have the foundations to pass it. So no, I mean, it's
not bad.
This is a good card.
I think it will go very well with Krut's Bloodline because you can make it almost unblockable. Sure, it's only dealing 4, but then now your other attacks are dealing +1 damage. So
yeah.
Actually, revising that, so we didn't mention this. So Ed has double support. Ed and Ein have 18 cards, or go up to from 1, or not 1, because Asimov and Katarina are 1.
Yeah.
So they're
That's 10. It's 10 to 27.
Like 28 or something.
It's 10 to 20.
I think all of the crew have double support.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like they have double support. Vicious has double support because he's a turbo box, and then the villains seem to have single support. So that's important just because we've seen a lot of the stuff for Ed and Ein that want, or that combo ally. I think they have some other stuff that want allies, and there are not a lot of ally cards, especially not attacks on these symbols. Miska has some, but they're all flash, and if you're playing Ed and Ein, you do not want to run flash attacks. That is not helping you out. So we'll see. I think this will find a home in some Ed and Ein decks, and maybe in some other stuff. It depends on what kind of support ally gets.
Tim, you want to run us through Stink Gas? Do you have it pulled up? You can go ahead and just read off Stink Gas.
Sure.
Which is a good card, though. I like Stink Gas. I think it's a really, really neat card.
Stink Gas. Yeah. All right, so it's 5 difficulty, 3 control, +2 mid block, 4 mid zone for 5 damage. It has ally and tech. E, discard 1 card, add 1 of your opponent's assets or foundations to the top of their deck. E, if your next attack has ally, add 1 card that you could normally play with a printed control of 6 from your discard pile to your staging area.
Funny thing about that is, if you play that, you don't have to pass the check of the next card, of the next attack. It just automatically happens.
Until they make the ruling that you do.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This kind of card reminds me of a baby Blazing Storm. A bit. Instead of adding it to their card pool, you put it at the top of their deck. So it's somewhat of a, discard foundation removal.
I mean, this is just, what's his face? Skullman. Super Skullman 33.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been viewing it as kind of like a Runica type thing.
You're right. But it's a rare, so, that's 2 rares in her support, and their support, I should say, that you got to pull. So it's a good card. And it can add what? Add 9. It can add Hanya, Kien, if you're playing weapons, I guess. Which I don't know why you would be with an ally keyword. So
I mean, this is an ally that wants your next attack to be an ally.
Yeah.
I think you're probably playing an ally.
Oh yeah,
like this.
definitely.
Yeah, I mean that +6, that second E, that's interesting. I mean, right, like we said, Hanya. I guess I didn't really look at what other sort of things that you can add, but I guess what you could add.
Oh, there's another. They have a foundation with a printed 6 control too.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's sort of the interesting one, and then being able to sort of snipe a problem foundation or asset, that's pretty big because if they want to block your attack, they're going to have to check it.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of the flip of you guaranteeing their check is that if they want to use it, they have to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because all, especially, has nothing for dealing with an opposing staging area right now. They're very, very lacking in any way to really do anything to your opponent's board. So that's sort of that's an important part for this card.
I really like
giving that tool to all.
I also like it for order too, because other than just playing like homemade explosives, you could play this card instead to get rid of an asset. If you don't want to play homemade explosives, which I don't know why you wouldn't. The card's great, but it's just other options that gives the order symbol, because the order symbol is kind of lacking. So
I think some of the gems. I just pulled this up. I think some of the gems that can potentially bring in. We've already mentioned Hanya. You can, if you're not really playing a weapon deck, so Kien doesn't really help, but you can bring in Egotistical. Mm-hmm. You can bring in Esoteric Yoga. Beginning Mission.
That's a good one.
Esoteric Yoga.
That's a huge one.
Well-earned Relaxation. I think Esoteric Yoga is much better. And then you get some. You could potentially bring in Long Journey, but I don't know if anyone would.
I don't know. Especially if you don't know, I don't know if anyone would do that. Well, I don't know. That card, I don't know. With Well-earned Relaxation's not that bad, but like if you think you're just going to try to blow someone out on a turn, you can bring that in case you you dump your entire hand or whatever, because they're not going to have a hand. So, I don't know.
Hanya, Egotistical, Esoteric Yoga, I think are the real gems that we currently have before Bebop.
It is printed 5, so Honda could play this, and then bring in Well-earned Relaxations, and if they block it, you could. It's something there, if you play it with Honda. So
sure,
I don't know.
We got to be playing some all ally attacks.
I don't know, man. I'm just throwing it out there.
All good.
You want to get Radical Edward too?
Okay, so here we go. Radical Edward, 2 difficulty, 5 control foundation, +3 high block. So there's a static ability. After you check this card, you may add 1 character card that shares a name with your starting character from your discard pile to your hand.
Oh shit. Okay, I thought you had to check the character. Oh no! Wow. Okay. Wow, the card. Well, I knew the card was good, but I haven't. What? It's been like 3 weeks since we've seen this card, man. I don't remember any of this shit.
And then it has an E-commit. Target commit 1 asset or foundation in your opponent's staging area with 1 or more keywords.
This is also a rare, by the way. So
it is rare.
The card's really good, especially Mega Man's gonna love this card. I would easily,
especially in combination with Armor Expert.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. If you have this, oh god, yeah. You use it, stack it. Yeah. Oh, this card's really good, and it has a block on it too. That's pretty fantastic. Rob?
I mean, the block doesn't matter. You want this in play.
Oh, I know this. Yes.
No, I think we figured out the list of assets that this doesn't hit, and it's 5 cards, and 3 of them are bad.
Homemade Explosives is one of those.
The only one that's really good, I think, was Homemade Explosives.
Yep, I would think so.
I mean, the biggest thing too is this can. So the foundation is a little less useful, if you will, except that it can commit uniques because that's a keyword. So This is just, target commit any unique foundation, a couple other things that might have like ally, weapon, stuff like that, and basically any asset. So this is more asset hate for all Order Void, which, as we sort of have been saying, like they didn't have any of. So they really gave these symbols like a lot of help for dealing with opposing staging areas, which
What's awesome is, though, it's on any turn. So if someone has pulled my trigger out, you just go, I commit that, and then you can't do anything, especially if they've used it. Then they don't get extra damage. So that's pretty good.
Yep.
That's
well,
fantastic.
if they used it once, then they don't get any more damage, and
they
can't play foundations.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty fantastic. Next card, Datadog. It is finally some order spam. Yeah, order spam. It's a 1/5 with a +3 high. Ally. R commit. After your opponent discards any number of cards from their hand during the combat phase, they discard they discard 1 momentum. So basically,
I think this card's amazing.
Yeah, this card's nuts.
I think people are saying, what is it, Order? Order doesn't have like a lot of great spam foundations right now, so that's pretty handy.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you, I've played a lot of the life symbol, and the life symbol, if it has one glaring weakness, it's that it has nothing for dealing with your opponent's momentum. So if they're on any sort of momentum strategy, you're kind of just hope you can block, hope they don't have snap momentum. So even just like a little bit like this is great. And the biggest thing about this is it discards any number from their hand. It doesn't say due to like an effect, your effect. So
if they pay cost,
this could even be if they're using Design for Combat. That's the Skullman card, right?
Design for Combat.
So like Design for Combat, Power Struggle.
Napalm Man hits Napalm Man.
Improved design.
It also hits Skullman.
Yeah.
Skullman 2.
So really,
I
mean, this is going to have like a fair number of targets, even if you're not Ed and Ein or like another character that's going to allow you to make them discard cards.
Yeah.
There's a decent number of things that'll just have them like doing that on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I could definitely see this finding a home in basically any deck on these symbols. But,
well, that's another thing too. All has really bad spam right now too. So
I don't know. I don't play a lot of all.
I don't play all at all. So but
this card just reminds me of a slightly better and still totally appropriate budget constraints.
Yeah,
with a little bit different thing that procs it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, budget constraints, like you had a lot more control over that going off.
Yep.
But it was also a 2/5.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That 1 is a big deal.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Mushroom Experimentation. It is a 3 difficulty 6 check +2 mid block ally. E, commit your character. Both players discard 2 cards and draw 2 cards. E, destroy. Discard 1 card with a printed control of 6. Reduce this attack's damage to 1. Defensive discard draw. Not bad. You can do that offensively, defensively. If you have like crap in your hand, defensively.
So here's a little known gem. The commit your character ability really reminds me of a almost unplayed instance of a card on or ability on one of my favorite cards, Wall of Goro, which is as long as you have a momentum, E commit : discard 1 card, draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
Now in UFS, you play as much of the ability as you can. If you have 0 cards in your hand, you can commit Ed and Ein or your character, period, and then draw 2 cards.
Yeah, if you have nothing in your hand, yeah. So actually,
the other thing too is it makes your opponent discard 2. So if they have just a fistful of attacks and they're going to try to kill you, and you run out of cards, decide that you're going to draw up.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they have to discard before they draw, so they might have to discard 2 attacks and then just draw nothing. That's oh yeah. Go ahead.
The bottom ability in its own right. You discard an Ed and Ein to reduce his attack damage to 1. So if they throw an attack at you that you can't block with a +0 mid, I guess you can reduce it to 1. I don't know why you wouldn't just half block it, or maybe it was going to kill you, and so you reduce it down to 1. And then this also goes with Stink Gas, so Stink Gas can bring this back the next turn because it's not removed; it's just straight up destroy. So you can either choose to get the printed card, so you can discard this for another copy for the effect, or an Edward and Ein or whatever, and then you can just bring it back with Stink Gas. So that's pretty cool. At least there's like I'm noticing there's a lot of synergy within the character parts, which is kind of like what they started to do with Street Fighter a bit. Blood Omen was kind of like that, and then Street Fighter kind of moved on, and then this seems like it's done a lot more. Next is Samba Slam. 5 attack, 5 difficulty, 3 check, +0 high block, which is kind of nice. 3 high for 5 damage. Ally Slam. While this card is in your card pool, your other attacks get +1 damage. If this is your first attack this turn, this attack gets 2 speed and stun 2. As a common, by the way. As a common. Fantastic card, actually, as a lead-in for this, and then any other attack.
Or in Talbane.
Or Talbane.
Oh, man. I have a special place in my heart for that character.
And it's even a slam, so it combos with all his slams.
Yeah, it does combo with all his. And then he gets +1 damage.
Yeah.
It's 7 high for 7 minimum in him.
It's not bad. Stun 2? That's not bad. That's he had another card, like, what was it? Climb Laser? Or whatever.
That card's
terrible. Yeah, I know the card's terrible, but isn't this like technically kind of like saying, well, we're sorry we made Climb Laser, so we made Samba Slam?
This is a better Climb Laser, and Climb Laser was a kick.
Yeah.
I know that he works with kicks, but the rest of his cards all wanted to do with slam.
Mm-hmm.
So Climb Laser kind of fell out of place, right?
Yep. Which is cool is if you lead with this and then you do a bunch of his other things and then you like drop Canyon Flyer. So if this hit, you get an extra damage plus the 3 that Canyon Flyer lay on. So it's not bad.
This is also another 5 difficulty. So if you want to do the Chris Smith special of Ally Honda.
Yeah, baby. Ally Honda. Here we go. We're doing it.
Yeah, I know they said there are 3 diff attacks in this set. I don't think we've seen any yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully. I missed 3 diff attacks.
Well, of course. Like, you got Gravity Hold Band. So, yeah.
I'd help.
Okay, yeah, I'd help. Yeah, fair enough. Moving on to Fei Fei. It's a 1/5 foundation. +3 low block. E-flip. This attack gets -3 speed. They said that they made this in vein of A Girl Like Any Other, but this is better than A Girl Like Any Other because you don't have to commit it. Even though Girl Like Any Other is reusable, but still, this is insane. This card's really good. It gives Order another spam card. It actually gives Order Speed Hate. That's not like
Pendulum.
Yeah, Pendulum. Even though you play that, you still play that too.
Anyway.
That card's awesome. It gives Void more low blocks, which always needs low blocks. But
Champion of Muay Thai.
Yeah.
It's 1 diff +3 low, and you don't have to like you said, you don't have to commit it, destroy it, anything like that. It's a flip. So really, that's -4 speed because you still have it ready to pass a check.
Yep.
And it doesn't have like that high upside that Champ had. It's not like you're taking something from like 10 or 15 speed to 1.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of times that you would use that just when something was like 6 speed, 7 speed. And -4 is a huge difference.
It also doesn't have a printed minimum either. So it can go under 0, which is fantastic.
Well, but I mean, why are you using this? I mean, I guess if it's like the end of the chain and you need it to be like 0 speed or something. But I think this is a card that you really want early, and because when you're later on, you should have built out, and speed isn't as threatening. Just because you have foundations to pass your checks. Like when you start getting later on, it's more whether you're going to run out of cards in your hands, if you have the right block zone, stuff like that. But this is really what something that you want to see like turn 1, turn 2. so you don't just get like blown out. So
Tim, you have anything?
it turns out you can play 4 cards in your deck and never see it.
That's also true. That's also
That
true.
is true.
There is a foundation later on that we get 16 copies of it, so we'll always see it in every game. So
Yeah, I mean, you can have 4 cards in your deck and then just check all of them in your first 2 turns.
oh yeah, that's fair. That sounds fun.
No, I think this card is great. It's strong, but it's not overly oppressive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
This is replacing cards that went missing that haven't been replaced.
That's true. That's
So.
true. Yep. Tim, you want to do Loyal Friend? Unless Rob has it pulled up. I don't know. It looks like he's glancing off to the side, so.
I can do.
Okay, go ahead,
So
Rob.
this is a Loyal Friend. It's no block, 2/5, ally foundation, E flip, seal one of your opponent's foundations.
Hey, it's perfect accuracy.
Yeah. So it's perfect accuracy without the block. That's ally instead of weapon and doesn't have air.
Which is good, because we don't want
Yeah.
it to have air. So, yeah.
No.
So,
I don't think there's much more to say about this.
nah, it's just, it's fantastic.
This is another piece of foundation control for all, which doesn't have that. So
Okay.
No.
they've had what? So we've seen what, 3 or 4 pieces just in this set.
Mm-hmm. Just
So
in
they're
those
definitely getting a
few
lot
cards.
of cards that are going to see play.
Yep.